Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're talking the weekend in wrestling. That's right, we've got AEW Collison, WWE Smackdown with Tribal Combat, and we're going to talk a little bit about LA Knight. Yeah. Whose game is it, Larson? Let's talk about it.
It's LA Knight's game, or maybe not. We'll see. There was a lot of fans that were really upset, if social media is to be believed, about LA Knight. Not winning the U.S. title invitational four-way this Friday on SmackDown. But does that mean LA Knight is still in line for a push? Well, according to PW Torch, the answer is yeah. PW Torch reported over the weekend that Knight is, quote, in for a big push later this summer and fall, and added, PW Torch sources indicate Vince McMahon has grown to be a fan of his, LA Knight, yeah. And Paul Levesque already was, by all indications, despite his, this is PW Torch still, this is not Larson saying this. By all indications, despite his average or below average work in the ring that isn't at the level of most WWE main eventers, he's on course to get a push at a high level in spite of that, because he has a special X factor. We're dealing with the X factor here. In connection with the crowd that hasn't gone unnoticed by anyone.
Now, pause there, because there's a little bit more here.
Yes.
There is a whole, I did a Wrestle Juice video on this the other day because I wanted to do one on LA Knight because he's so popular. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's LA Knight's game, right? And sure enough, this video is at like 22,000 views right now. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous, right?
What's the title of it?
Oh, I YouTubed it the hell up, dude. I
good.
called it, where is it? Someone in WWE is trying to bury your LA Knight.
Okay,
and then
good.
it's got a picture of him and it says conspiracy on the thumbnail.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
great. No, it's so clickbait. But because we're about to talk about somebody in LA in WWE trying to bury LA Knight here in a second. But no, there went in researching this story, because the story dropped over the weekend. I looked at PW Torch, and the first article I came across was one where the entire thing, and I forget if it's Wade Keller or who, but the entire thing was just running down the guy for his wrestling moves, for like him looking lost and out of place. And I'm like, I don't go to McDonald's for a salad, and I don't go to LA Knight for wrestling moves. Okay.
No,
I go there to see him run down people and be awesome. That's what I go there for.
And be Teflon to other people's attempts at insults.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So
yes.
Let's talk about people being insulted backstage, perhaps, Larson, because it feels like there is a hit piece out on LA Knight. The Torch continues here. There is seemingly one caveat to the push, and this is what PW Torch says. LA Knight has a long-running reputation for rubbing people the wrong way behind the scenes and just being bad at backstage politics. Those who know him well tend to like him, and some of them have spoken up on his behalf when Knight gives a bad first impression. If his push isn't sustained, even if crowds still like him, it'll likely be because he mishandled himself backstage in a way that caused him to lose the support of key people who can influence his push. I don't know who backstage is like feeding this garbage to PW Torch, but they have to understand one thing, Larson. It's not
whose game is it?
Right. Not this person, not anonymous X person.
No.
It's LA Knight's game, Larson. Yeah.
LA Knight's game. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, I guess I can understand if I'm not saying talk about LA Knight here specifically, but if there's someone who rubs people the wrong way backstage, while they might not want to necessarily advance them from at a creative standpoint, but the situation here with LA Knight is unique in that he's in theory a heel who basically every person in attendance at every live event gets up out of their seat and makes as much noise as possible when he makes an appearance.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, so it's a situation where if they think LA Knight, even if he rubs people the wrong way backstage, is going to make the company a lot of money, guess what? He's getting pushed.
Right. Yeah. The only person, like, as long as he doesn't rub two people, Vince and Triple H, the wrong way. It is very interesting that Vince, I appreciate that seemingly, according to this, Vince has seen the light, you know?
Yes.
That he understands what they have. I do have one question for you, though, because I was looking back. I watched LA Knight's promo a couple times on his way to the Fatal 4-Way that he did, you know, just walking down the ramp. And you notice that he paused, he hesitated before he said, because he said there's 3 men in the ring that I have to get through. but he paused before he said men. And I saw somebody on Twitter, and I so apologize because I don't see who it was. Somebody on Twitter said, was he going to call them dummies and then stop? Because that's his thing. You know, there's 3 dummies in the ring.
Yeah.
Are they giving him some sort of instruction in terms of like, babyface up your stuff a little bit? Like, don't go. And I'm like, don't do that. Do exactly what you always do.
Exactly.
Hell, call the crowd incels. Who cares?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Call the guys in the ring incels. It's what got you over. Don't give us LA Knight at 75%.
No, it's got to be 110 or it's nothing.
Exactly.
No, you do. He's got to be doing what got him over in the first place. You can't just like start, like having him lean babyface. LA Knight is LA Knight.
Right.
He's not a heel. Yeah. He's not a babyface. He's just LA Knight.
He's a force of nature.
He really is.
Yeah.
And to say, all right, you can't call people dummies, then you're hamstringing them.
As favorite customer here in Twitch chat says, don't give us LA Squire.
No.
He's LA Knight.
Yeah. Need LA Knight. It's not LA Squire's game. Whose game is it?
Right, it's LA Knight's game. So yeah, I don't know. Look, I mean, as far as like the don't rub, he's going to rub people. But look, the history of wrestling is littered with people who have succeeded wildly, and they've rubbed people the wrong way. There's an entire series called Dark Side of the Ring, of people who seemingly have no connection to proper social skills. Yeah, and it is what it is. But the guy makes money. So I looked at a couple different part of the Wrestle Juice video. Is I looked at a couple of the metrics, and you and I both talked about his insane YouTube numbers. Mm-hmm. Even his appearance on Sheamus's Celtic Warrior workout, is above everybody, I believe, except like in recent. Anyways, I looked at the thing, and his is approaching like 500,000. Usually they're closer to like 200,000. Cody, I think, cracked over 500,000 because he's Cody and he was coming back, I think, from or he is sort of still whatever. But yeah, if you look at like, for example, Google Trends, like LA Knight, with the exception of like Roman Reigns, who trends way higher than everybody else. Yeah. Obviously Logan Paul, but that's for completely different Logan Paul reasons. But Seth, Cody, he's on par with them. Rhea Ripley actually trends above those people, not above Roman, but above them. Rhea Ripley does. But he trends higher than Cody and Seth on Google Trends over the past 30 days. And his merch sales, if you go to WWEshop.com and look at, like, if you go to the top sellers in their t-shirts, his like, and they're ugly. They're not even good looking shirts.
No,
but not. His shirts, the two ones that like have the LA Knight on them, the more recent ones with the Yaz on them, it says it says down there, it's like number one or top seller in men's shirts. Yeah. And it's like him, the Bloodline, and Cody. They're the top merch sellers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they want to make money, let the man run. Yeah. Exactly.
Before we get on to SmackDown, we got some gifted memberships here on the YouTube from Leisha Harding. Thank you so much, Leisha.
Oh, thank you so much, Leisha. If you got a gifted membership from Leisha, give her a big thanks.
Indeed. And then Patrick Cheeseman, renewed membership, says, speaking of whose game is it, Larson, you ready for me to dominate the Friendo Fantasy Football League this year? Steve, are you going to endeavor to rejoin the original Friendo Fantasy Football League?
No. I don't have, it's just, I don't need an additional stressor in my life. And that's all that serves to do. It just stresses me out. Yeah.
I find, like research and stuff for fantasy football quite relaxing.
Well, that's cool. To each their own. This is not my game though. Evidently it's Ann Larson's game and Cheese Man's game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not into it. But yeah, speaking of those memberships, right now, are we going to do an overrun today?
We should.
I think we're changing those to Mondays. Yeah. So we've got an overrun coming up today. If you are a channel member, if you're a patron, you can do the bonus episodes. You can participate in our monthly predictions challenge. But you know what, man? That's me talking about this stuff. We've got a special guest here that a lot of people have been asking. This is a pre-record, so you don't have to deal with this person.
Wait, hold on.
It's a pre-record. Yeah.
I don't know anything about this.
Well, this person's going to talk about the Patreon and the channel membership. So let's go ahead, and this is a pre-record from who is this? Brett Hitman Horse. Here we go.
What? No.
Hey, hello. Hi, this is Brett the Hitman Horse. Right now you're looking at two QR codes on your screen, And one of them here is for the channel memberships, and one of them's for Patreon. You know, and if you want to join this Friendo Club Patreon, you can just go ahead and click on those QR codes in case you're watching this on your television screen. And you get a lot of stuff there. You know, you get bonus shows. You get, QA threads if you have any questions about, like, perhaps, like, like mating with horses. Or if you want to join the monthly predictions challenge and become like Bret the Hitman Hart, who is a big champion, but I'm just a celebrity impersonator who really likes horses. Join at patreon.com/Steven Larson or channel memberships, on YouTube/Steven Larson. Click join. Nay.
Thank you very much, Bret.
Oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Talked very briefly about his experiences with horses, Larson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to go south a lot quicker.
Well, man, you want to go south? We can go south, buddy.
No.
You might have noticed, Larson. You might have noticed that I'm wearing the latest in Friendo Club attire.
All purple all the time now.
All purple all the time. Got a Wrestle Juice hat with also some purple trim on it. We also have another celebrity impersonator to tell you all about purple merch at friendoshop.com. That's right. We got good old Jim Ross impersonator Dick Slavitt on a pre-record to talk about this. Here we go. Man. Do you love going to the bar and looking at the height of fashion and having people look at you and say, man, I want to take this piece straight home. I want to do some freaky stuff with these people because it looks so good in this purple merch. That's right. Go to friendoshop.com. Right now, you can use code PURPLE. Get 20% off. We got all sorts of stuff there. Look at that. We got Friendo Club. We got like a Slayer type shirt, but it says going and raw on it. Man, let me tell you something. I'm going to wear these to the bar. I'm going to take some women home with me. I'm going to go and raw myself. Okay. All right.
Damn it.
That was a little bit over the line.
It was a lot over the line.
We really need to change the name of this show, man. Going and raw, it's like a sexual euphemism,
It does seem to inspire whatever guests. I mean, actually, it's the language in the contract apparently signed them to appear on this show that there's like a prerequisite. They must be horny.
Yeah, right. Now, a lot of people here in the Twitch chat are saying that they saw me like reading those.
Yeah.
But really, I knew what they were supposed to say. That was me like lip syncing to the words that they were saying.
It's like what people do when wrestlers set up promos, and sometimes while the other person's talking, the other person.
Billy Gunn did that this week.
Yeah,
it totally is. Yeah. Yeah, so that was the voices. The noise was not coming out of my mouth. That was the actual pre-record. I just had the script. I wrote the script for them, and then they improv a little bit. Mainly, Bret Horse improved about mating with horses. So, what are you gonna do? Anyways, you want to talk about Smackdown? How do you like that Smackdown on FS1?
It was a solid Smackdown on FS1. Yeah.
Oh man, big ratings there for FS1.
Oh, they released the ratings.
The overnight
preliminary, I thought there was something like the best one that's been on there since they.
Yeah, no, I was just talking about
preempted.
The preliminary stuff. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Big draw of that thing. Let's talk about Tribal Combat.
Yeah.
So of course we had. I guess this was supposed to be like a face-to-face, right? Like
it was the rules of engagement. They were outlining their match at SummerSlam. The rules of engagement.
Yeah, this is something I think they probably used to do way back in the day. Like maybe generals
let's be honest,
would get
Steve,
together.
It was just another way of saying contract signing.
But then Jay did the old ripperoo here. He ripped it up and said, "No. This is going to be Tribal Combat. I've consulted." And Roman was like, "Whoa, wait a second. Did the elders know about this?" And he was like, "You mean Rikishi?" He's like, "Yeah." Rikishi said, "Go in there and give him a stink face." And I'm like, "That's not really my gimmick, dog. Can you suggest something else, Oos?" And Rikishi was like, "I don't know, whatever. Tribal Combat. It's probably a no DQ thing."
Yeah.
And so they're doing like a Tribal Combat at SummerSlam, which is really cool.
Yeah, and I liked how it was all set up where it wasn't just Jay being like, no. I mean, part of it is he wants revenge for what Roman Solo did to Jimmy.
Yeah, right.
But he's taking it a step further. He's like, I'm not just content to have a no DQ match with you. I'm taking this to the elders, and we're setting up this way. And at the end of it, when Roman puts the title on the desk, and then I apologize, I forgot what it's called, but that necklace he wears, he takes that off and drapes it over the title. So it's like right there, plain as day, visually, you see what's at stake in this match, not just the title.
Everything.
Roman's claim to be tribal chief is on the line as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
And the bit at the end where where Jay and Roman have that moment where they, they shake hands and they get real close, and it was a way to seemingly to kind of a different way to sign the deal. It was them coming to agreement. All right, this is what we got to do, and this is what is at stake.
Yeah, right.
And then the way Solo just looked at Roman again with this utter contempt after that.
Yeah.
Like in Solo's mind, Roman should just beat the hell out of Jay every opportunity he gets. So Solo, not happy with Roman not doing that, takes it upon himself to try to do that. And in an image that harkened back to Jay saving Sami Zayn from getting the spike, Roman saves Jay from getting the spike from Solo.
Yeah.
Because Roman is respecting the process here.
That's an important
tribal combat is. Yeah.
That's an important observation too, is that, it somebody in our chat earlier, and we've talked about this before, had mentioned how this comes off like, a mafia movie basically. And there's been parallels to mafia fiction all along the way, going back 3 years now.
Yep.
And in almost every mafia tale, there is the younger generation not respecting the older generation, not respecting their traditions. And obviously Roman and Jay are of the generation that still respect that stuff, that respects the elders and their wishes. And this is their ceremonial way of solidifying this contract, which would usually be, writing it down on a piece of paper and getting some paralegals involved. But in this case, right. And a notary public, exactly. But in this case, all they needed is to, contract via osmosis. They just sort of put their heads together and they have a little ceremonial moment. Yeah. And Solo's like, F that. I'm going to blast this fool right here. Well, that's going to be interesting to see how much that attitude comes into play down the line if they do, and I suspect they will, explore Solo versus Roman. Is Solo going to be a guy who doesn't take the traditions, into account? Is he going to be the guy, much like Vince McMahon back in the 80s, who snatched up territory after territory, bucking the trend or bucking the tradition of everybody gets their own slice of the pie? And Vince was like, I want all pie,
Yeah. I wonder if part of Solo's kind of inner battle is, his charge via, it's coming directly from the elders, is protecting the tribal chief.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got that like kind of on one shoulder, and the other shoulder he looks at Roman and he sees Roman for what he truly is.
Yeah.
Roman's a mess.
Yeah.
He puts up a facade of he's the top guy, but beneath that, this man is filled with hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And Solo seemingly views that as weakness.
Yeah.
And doesn't respect Roman for that.
Well, also, because, so I watched this thing and I read this thing, but was the idea that family members are not allowed to interfere, was that included?
I've seen that. Yes, I've seen that. I don't remember necessarily that being stated explicitly during this thing, but I've seen that elsewhere, yeah. If
somebody in our chat maybe can clarify where that's coming from, let's proffer for a second that it is legit. Mm-hmm. Solo's not respecting what's going on in the ring with the ceremonial stuff. What's to make us believe he's going to respect the that stipulation in the match?
Steve, what if this happens? What if Solo tries to get involved in the match and Roman stops him?
Mm-hmm.
And that leads to Jay winning.
Dude, I man, ever since you and I talked about this on I don't know when it was we talked about it, but I think it was on the QA video last week. You and I talked about the idea of Jay winning and how should it be the next guy that's going to beat Roman Reigns. And I hearkened back to Hogan. Mm-hmm. The next guy wasn't the guy who beat Hogan for the title. They told a story that involved Hogan losing the title and having to get it again. It wasn't until years later when the Ultimate Warrior, who was supposed to be the next guy, got it from him. They told the story of DiBiase getting it, and they put it up, and Savage got it, and et cetera, et cetera. And then eventually
Hogan got it back. Yeah,
Hogan got it back. But I think that obviously, look, this is a different story being told, and we're in a different era, or maybe WWE does believe the guy Cody has to beat Roman Reigns, but maybe not. Maybe now, maybe they're going to go overboard thinking, having us think Jay's not going to win this. Jay's not going to win this. And then he is going to win this. I mean, I would love for that to happen and them to tell that story, because I think at this point, at least with the bloodline, they have the benefit of the doubt in telling these stories. And I don't think they're going to do the same thing where Jay wins and all of a sudden, everything's hunky-dory and normal, and he's supposed to be considered, the guy that, even in this contract signing, at first, he does not like confronting Roman.
No.
He balls up a little bit until he's forced to come out, which is going to be interesting to see how they translate that idea to their actual in-ring match.
Yeah. I mean, here's another idea is that Roman will kind of play lip service to tradition leading up to the match to lull Jay into a false sense of security. And then while maybe family members can't get involved in the tribal combat match, doesn't mean that somebody else can't. Maybe Roman's got someone else has enlisted somebody else to possibly help him get the win.
Well, I mean, therein lies, and I know that they're all in the G1 right now, but, you got Ikaleu, Tamatanga Tongalo, and I know that they're probably not the ones, but, so to speak. But if you have, like, bloodline adjacent, like people who might not be part of the NOIE family proper, but still adjacent to them in some sort of way, shape, or form, that could work as well and introduce more players to this and extend this story out even further. Yeah.
And then, if Roman enlists, somebody else or more people to help with the bloodline, how does Solo take that? Does Solo take that as a threat to his spot as the enforcer? And Solo obviously has designs of becoming the tribal chief himself, seemingly. Does he see Jay in the way of that? Is that why he's going so hard after him right now? There's a lot of pieces in play with some intriguing storyline potential and seeing and trying to figure out everybody's individual character motivations and what that might lead them to do has been really fascinating. And especially now where, we all thought, a lot of us thought, well, at WrestleMania with Cody winning, this is all going to kind of settle itself. And we're going to be dealing with the after effects now. But no, we're still right in the in shit, basically. I don't know, Act 2 basically at this point, maybe. And interested to see where it goes. And it seems like Roman's going to end up by himself by the time WrestleMania next year rolls around. Champion, I would guess, taking on Cody, so Cody beats him. But how we get there is going to be, you can kind of maybe lay out some of the story beats, how it might happen, but getting there and what twists and turns and what character moments we get from those moments, I'm still really looking forward to. They've done a really good job with this feud. Right after WrestleMania, I think there was worry, especially with Roman being gone, is like, how are they gonna continue telling this story? That month that Roman was out of action after Mania. Once he came back, dropped my pen. It's just been interesting story beat after interesting story beat, and I'm fascinated to see what Solo's next move is. Is he going to make a move for the throne?
Yeah, it's interesting too, like how, and I know it's not everybody's cup of tea necessarily. I know you and I have both really been into this method of storytelling, but the way they have been able to extrapolate story beats at a fairly methodical pace, when there are some weeks Roman's not there, and it simply centers around people thinking about Roman, but it's still, the tension is there because there is always that, what's Roman going to do next? What's the next line of thought? How is he going to react to things? They built this character to be so strong that we actually give a damn. This guy's not here, but how is this guy going to react? There's been moments along the way when Jay will simply reference Roman in a nearly derogatory manner, like that one time, I don't care what the tribal chief says. And the whole crowd gasps because they're like, oh my God, that's a terrible idea. I appreciate how long they've been able to carry out this storyline and give us all these great and let things simmer and build, and then it explodes again. And how that keeps people interested. And clearly, even if it's not your cup of tea, you can't deny, look at the ratings. You want proof in the pudding. The bloodline's a draw because people are interested in this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, also, it is, by the way, White Brownie is reminding us, Ula Fala is the name of the thing.
That's what it is. Thank you.
Ula Fala. Yeah.
Also on SmackDown, as mentioned when we were talking about LA Knight, Nana did not win the U.S. title Invitational 4-way. Instead, it was Rey Mysterio setting a match against Santos Escobar next week. Winner of that will take on Austin Theory for the U.S. title, I guess maybe at SummerSlam.
Well, okay, according to Meltzer, it's going to happen on an episode of SmackDown.
Yeah, I saw that too.
But I don't know what episode of SmackDown. We're 2 weeks away.
I guess maybe it would be on the Go Home episode then.
That's what I was thinking as well. See, my hope is they do that on the Go Home. And then at SummerSlam, Austin Theory, almost in a mocking fashion, mocking John Cena, open challenge. Yeah. LA Knight just takes it,
Maybe that could happen. I was wondering too, because Santos beat Austin Theory on SmackDown.
Yeah. If
Ray wins the match next week, then they could somehow parlay that into a 3-way match. Where Santos or Ray says, well, you beat Austin Theory 1-on-1, so you deserve to be in this match too. Mm-hmm. And then they could still advance Ray and Santos' story.
Yeah.
Whether win or lose for Austin Theory. Mm-hmm. And if Theory wins, you can have that scenario you just mentioned where LA Knight answers an open challenge. BFT 1, 2, 3. Yeah, whose game is it?
Yeah.
But it seems like they want to focus on this Rey Mysterio Santos story. I don't know where it's going. Yeah. I don't know if they want somebody to turn heel or not. It seemed like it would kind of have to be the case if they want to push an angle between the two of them, but you don't know.
Yeah, dude, honestly, I think that it's a great idea to get Santos out of this, brick of ice that he's in right now, because the man is cold. And I think LA Knight, look, I don't know what's going to happen with LA Knight. I don't. You do need to give him some wins. And look, if you're not going to put a title on him right now, fine. Give him a quality story where he can shine and give the crowd that.
Yep.
And because honestly, I think a lot of people would probably be surprised how much less bitching there would be about his state if the man was just featured every week in a prominent position. He doesn't need the damn gold around his waist. I want to see it. I want to see it. He doesn't necessarily need it. He just needs to be in good stories where he's winning, and people will appreciate that because they'll get their fill of LA Knight.
Yeah.
With Santos, and I never advocate for put a title on a guy to see if that'll help the guy. They need to kickstart Santos. They need to. And I don't know if that means a win over Ray or, like in your scenario, like a triple threat. I don't know, but I do know that Austin Theory seemingly might end up being, well, I don't know about the odd man out, because even if he ends up winning whatever the Santos Ray thing is, which given that he just lost against Santos probably is going to be the case, setting him up to win whatever comes out of that. He's still cold. They didn't even have him on commentary because Michael Cole bullied him last week, which I guarantee you is a Triple H thing. I will guarantee you he said, because we know this about Triple H. He will put people through the ringer and see how they handle it. And Austin Theory doesn't know one thing about improv. He desperately needs. I don't know if Roman took classes before he came back 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Kind of seems like it, because all of a sudden the guy's like an Oscar-worthy actor.
Yeah,
Austin Theory needs some lessons in improv.
Yeah,
speaking. I don't know what, but he whisper speaks.
He needs some cold read classes.
Some. No,
agreed. And part of that too is like if you have some nebulous concept of who your character is, then it's difficult to speak using that character's voice.
Yeah.
If his character is I beat John Cena, well, that's not really a character. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
That's one thing you've done. But who are you as a person? What makes you who you are? And if he has no idea how to answer that question, then I can understand why it'd be hard to. You run the risk then, if you don't know who you are as a character, then you just sound like video game commentary, just generic phrases that we hear all the time in pro wrestling, and that's kind of what Austin Theory does. It's just real generic stuff, and it's real easy to bulldoze through somebody who just recites generic phrases. Also, looks like Bobby Lashley is continuing to recruit members for a possible new faction. We saw him have a chat with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. So thus far, he's spoken to Street Profits, Mello, Trick.
That's a hell of a team.
I know.
If they actually get all those people together on a team, oh my God.
I know.
That's a power group right there. My God.
You got that right.
Yeah,
you got that
that's
right.
Something else.
Interested to see where that leads to. Speaking of Mello and Trick, there was a lot of NXT talents on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's
Tiffany
up with
Stratton.
that? What do you think that was?
Well, they're in Orlando.
They live there, so put them on the show.
Yeah, Wesley Dragon Lee was there. Tiffany Stratton, Creeds were backstage.
Mm-hmm.
Mello and Trick. Sure, I'm forgetting somebody else. So it just seemed like every opportunity they had, or even if they had to kind of push the issue a little bit, here's NXT talents here. Hey, while you're at it, come watch NXT.
Yeah, I wonder. I do. I think like it's a win-win. I think they might understand that this formula right now is working. In terms of the ratings, you could see the ratings on NXT when they feature prominently. Was it Dom main event at all 3 shows last week?
Yeah.
And the NXT ratings are pretty decent again. And I think they just sort of understand, like we've been saying for years, the more continuity you have between these shows, the more it feels like it's all one integrated universe.
Yep.
While keeping the brands, separate, the competitors on those brands, the more it's going to rise all the, the rising tide situation.
Yes.
I think it's a really smart move. It'll be interesting to see, if Lashley's able to, let's go back to this Lashley faction. Maybe, and it's possible, because I think this would be a smart idea. If they keep the U.S. title off LA Knight, but God dang it, feature the guy.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley's got a long history with that U.S. title.
Yep.
And he can make that title the way he has made that title in the past, on par with a top title, similar to like what Gunther does with the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, Gunther followed the Bobby Lashley formula. What if they put that U.S. title back on Lashley as sort of the centerpiece of this new group of his? Mm-hmm. And maybe the group crosses promotions. You have Carmelo and Trick there in NXT as part of whatever they're going to, call this new faction. Mm-hmm. But those are some powerful pieces there. Lashley, the Prophets, and Carmelo and Trick. This could be if they did this right and they actually put those pieces together, and you get somebody from the women's division, I don't know who. This could be an all-time faction right here. Those definitely. Pieces are impressive.
Yeah. It could be something great if they use the faction to tell some interesting stories. But yeah, the idea of Lashley taking the U.S. title off Theory, and then as we said numerous times, with Roman being undisputed champ, he shows up Smackdown maybe twice a month. The U.S. champ then is the top week-to-week champion on Smackdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we understand LA Knight. We love LA Knight here. He's super over.
Yeah, it's his game.
Yeah. Bobby Lashley is an established presence in WWE programming.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So that's an advantage he has.
Dude, could you imagine? Because I don't know what happens with this whole bloodline thing, but if Roman's able to reload with some mercenaries I was talking about before, mm-hmm. Again, they're in the G1. It's not going to.
Yeah, it's not going to be Tama Tonga, Steve.
But if he's able to reload, if he's hey, look, man, Carl Anderson did one last match in New Japan. Maybe they're like, finish up this whole G1. Oh, he's like, hey, when's this G1 thing going to be over? I don't know. Next year.
Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa taking a red eye to fly to wherever SmackDown is next week, or to Detroit for SummerSlam.
No, probably
hopping
not.
Right back on the plane,
because
flying back.
There's still 2 weeks left in the G1 at that point. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Mid-August, yeah.
If Roman reloads the bloodline somehow, some way, Roman versus Lashley with Lashley's fancy new faction, that could be fireworks, man. Yeah, there could be some really cool shit going on. What if Roman reloads with Pretty Deadly? That'd be amazing. Acknowledge, yes, boy. So
they do a Pretty Deadly style remix of Roman's theme.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah, Bianca joining the Oh my God.
Yeah.
Could you like Bobby Lashley and then as the U.S. champion, and Bianca, if she gets that title back at SummerSlam? Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, man.
Off the charts.
Anyways, it kicked off with the fatal 4-way. Wes Lee, Dragon Lee, the Lee brothers were sitting ringside. LA Knight's the only guy. You get Cameron Grimes coming out there doing his wrestler entrance number 2.
He didn't get his full entrance. He stopped before he got to the ring before they hit LA Knight's song.
Yeah, who wants to hear that shit? LA Knight. Yeah, we want to hear LA Knight's theme. So he comes out, he drops a promo, says, "Let me talk to you. SummerSlam's right around the corner, and they call it the biggest party of the summer, right? Yeah. I'm always invited to every party that I want to go to, and the party I want to go to is the party that involves me taking the U.S. title, yeah. But tonight what we're looking at is a little stepping stone action. I got 3 men standing in my way, but one by one, each of you will fall because you all realize whose game is it? What everybody's saying, and the entire crowd, the entire world says L.A. Knight, yeah."
Wasn't LA Knight's match, though.
Nope.
Wasn't. Instead, it was Rey Mysterio's match. So Rey hits a double Hurricane Rana on Grimes, and Sheamus hits them both with 619s, hits Grimes with a splash, covers Austin Theory, who was sitting ringside by commentary, not doing commentary, though, as Steve mentioned, pulls Rey off the pin and throws him to the ring steps. So Santos, Escobar runs out to ringside, attacks Theory. They end up brawling through the crowd. So Knight hits Grimes with an elbow drop. Sheamus hits LA Knight with a brogue kick. Grimes hits Sheamus with the cave-in. And then Rey hits Grimes with like a Dragon Rana to get the win.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Those 3 dummies. After that, we have Jay Uso walking backstage. The Creeds are back there. Tony D and Stax are back there. There was a great little digital moment, digital exclusive moment, where Pretty Deadly were going backstage. They were coming back from their segment in a wheelchair. And Tony D and Stax see them, and they try to hide their Pretty Deadly try to hide their heads. And Stax like, hey, wasn't that? And he was like, no, not here. It was pretty funny. Yeah, it was good stuff.
That's pretty funny.
So then Theory walks up to Adam Pearce, and why do I not remember this moment at all?
He just goes to Adam Pearce and says, "I want a match against Santos tonight." And Pearce is like, "All right, U.S. title match with to you." And Theory's like, "No, not for the title. Doesn't deserve that. I just want him one-on-one." Pierce like, "Fine, match is official."
Yeah, I remember that. Theory was mad. And then we had Charlotte Flair versus Io Sky. Tiffany Stratton was shown sitting ringside, and Bayley joined commentary, which was awesome to see because she had a scare with her leg not too long ago.
And it's always great seeing Bayley and Michael Cole.
Oh, see, Bayley put her on commentary every time with Michael Cole.
Every time.
A master of improv and super wit. Quick on her feet. Like whispery Austin Theory, who just sits there.
John Cena.
I beat John Cena. Yeah, what have we done lately? Oh, what?
Oh, I didn't know you were going to ask me questions,
Cena. Michael Cole. Anyway, so partway during this match, a bunch of crazy Shotzi Blackheart footage starts playing up on the Tron, and it freaks out Bayley. So Bayley's like, I got to get out of here. And Io's like, what's going on here? Why are you leaving me? So that kind of let Charlotte get a bit of momentum here. She ended up getting the win with natural selection. Asuka runs into the ring right afterwards, hits a big German suplex on Charlotte, a Shining Wizard, and locks on the armbar.
I did like that Asuka runs in, doesn't hit like a forearm to the back or something like that, or a clothesline. No, German suplex.
Right, yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, easy striking move right there, the German suplex is.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't just like, here, I'll do a quick blast to the back and then do the huge move afterwards. No, right to the huge move.
Yeah, right.
Right to the German suplex. So after that, we had Dominic Mysterio interviews. So Kayla asks what brings him to SmackDown. He says, I just really wanted to show my deadbeat dad what a real champ looks like, because if he happens to win the U.S. title, he's only the champ of the United States. Me, on the other hand, I'm champ of all of North America. So Butch interrupts and says, congratulations, mate, new U.S. champ. We're at the home of NXT, and it feels to me like fight night. So what do you say that me and you fight for that title tonight? And Dom's like, I'm not even dressed. The title's not polished up. There's no one here from NXT to make the match official.
Think I'm cute. I
Shawn
know
Michaels
I'm
steps
sexy.
Yeah.
and says, that sounds like a wonderful match to me. Butch.
Pete de Butch. Yeah.
You really wanted to call him Pete Dunne.
Oh, he did.
And he asked, where's Adam Pearce's office? He says, I'll see if I can get this done.
Yeah, man. He's showing up there, making sure Triple H doesn't steal any more of his people. After that, we were in the Bloodline locker room. Roman's staring at the Ula Fala. And as Solo and Heyman look on, Roman turns to, because Solo's just like shooting eyeballs at that Ula Fala.
Yeah,
Roman turns to Solo. Solo just sort of looks at him and nods his head. It's just so much tension in that locker room, man.
It really is.
Dressing room, I should say,
yeah. Then Bayley and Io rush into their locker room, and Bayley sees that her suitcase is turned around. So she turns it back around, and on her suitcase is a picture of her stabbed onto the suitcase, like pierced through with some scissors. And Bayley says to Io, grab your stuff. It's time to go. We got to get out of here.
That's like one of them pranks the Steiners used to pull on people, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude. They used to like handcuff things down to the floor and poop in bags and stuff. I don't know about the pooping. That's more Randy Orton, I think.
That was the Randy Orton incident, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the Randy Orton. Imagine if there was like a thing named after you. Oh, it was the Larson incident. And it was like, what was that? It's when he pooped in a bag. Oh, no.
Oh, this sounds awful.
Yeah, I have to rehab my image a little bit. I need a new incident. It didn't involve me pooping in a bag.
Yeah, a much more positive incident, perhaps.
Yeah, it's like, do you guys remember when I passed out a bunch of food to homeless people? Can that be the Steve incident now? No, sorry, it's only.
Sorry, you pooped in a bag, so that's what everybody will remember you by.
Right, exactly. So, anyways, after that, we had Austin Theory versus Santos Escobar. So Santos gets the win here with that awesome Phantom Driver. Crowd gave him a good reaction too. Yeah, clean win.
Austin Theory is kind of the new Sheamus in like 2016. No one's going to cheer for Austin Theory. Period.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So if you want to get someone over as a babyface, put them up against Austin Theory because they'll get cheered.
No, you're absolutely right about that. It's funny because there's so that doesn't happen very often. Like there are people who are just cold. Yeah. But it's not very often that somebody's out there that people are just like, I have no desire to see you, so I'm going to boo everything about you. Yeah. Not a good place to be in.
No. Not at all.
After that. So that's when Lashley's backstage. Mello and Trick walk in. They have a little chat. And then we get Dominic Mysterio versus Butch. All sorts of stuff going on here.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, what was it? Oh, man. Which one's the blonde one? Is it Kit?
No, it's Elton Prince.
Oh, I'm never going to remember that. So anyways, the blonde one is in a wheelchair, and there are all sorts of distractions there. But then Ridge comes out because Dom has a chain, and Ridge comes out.
A chunk of chain, yeah.
Takes the chain from Dom. Butch hits him with an X-Plex. SmackDown goes to commercial. Back from then, Kit pushes Elton to ringside in a wheelchair. Elton's the blonde one. Butch
He's got separated shoulders, so there's no reason really he should be in a wheelchair.
And I think, did they blame that one on Ridge?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did, even though Ridge said on Twitter that it wasn't. Okay, so it's okay. So anyways, Dom looks for a 619. Butch counters with a German suplex, stomps on his fingers, gets a head kick with two, or gets two with a head kick. Pretty deadly walk over to Ridge. Ridge goes after them. Kit hits Ridge. Butch rolls out of the ring to forearm Kit. He runs away, leaving Elton in the wheelchair. So Ridge and Butch turn to Elton. He freaks out. He runs up the ramp. He actually didn't need the wheelchair. It was a separated shoulder. Right. So then Butch hits Dom with an enziguri. Dom distracts the ref as he's selling. And then Rhea chop blocks Butch. Dom rams him into the ring post, and then he covers him to get the win. Still North American champion.
Yep. And then we had the Bloodline rules of engagement. So Jay comes to the ring first. Go to commercial, come back. Roman makes his entrance. Roman gets the mic from Heyman. Tells the crowd to acknowledge him. They do. So there's a table set up, 2 chairs. Of course, a chair at the head of the table and a chair at the side of the table. Roman circles around the table to take the chair at the head. And Jay takes a seat as well, and Roman says, "It's little Jay. You still want to do this, huh? You sure about that?" So then Jay is not looking at Roman at all. He's looking off to the side. He grabs the mic and eventually brings himself to look over Roman and says, "Yeah, I still want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to do this. You're making me do this.
Yeah.
Because you called the shot. Jimmy's in the hospital. Now, Roman, I got to get you."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Roman responds, goes, "Oh, little Jay."
And he's smiling half the most.
Oh, he's so condescending.
He is, yeah.
Says he ain't going to get me because you just don't get it. You're just a soldier, man. A pawn in the game. And so Roman just reaches out, signs the contract. To sign the contract, Heyman gives him a pen. He signs it. Pass it to Jay. Jay just opens the folio, rips the contract in half, and says, "We don't need no contract because the contract is in the blood. This right here, this is tribal combat right now."
And Roman is taken aback. Yeah.
Yeah, he shook.
And so he says, he picks up the mic. He's really like stewing over this. And he says, do the elders know about this? And Jay says, it was their idea. Tribal combat. That means anything goes. And this part was great because Jay starts, basically makes Roman laugh. Because Roman tries to, in character, kind of like cover that he's laughing. But there was one line that was awesome. So Jay starts describing tribal combat. He says, that means anything go. If I want to light you up with a stick, I can. If I want to grab one of these chairs, I will. Grab that steel chair over there? Maybe. Put your ass through this announce table? I want to. Throw you through this table if I have to. Hey, I'll grab that lady's left slipper over there and slap you across the head too, Oos. And that's when Roman starts laughing, and he tries to translate that to being in character, like he's trying to put up a facade of he doesn't care.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it was just Roman laughing. So
it was pretty damn funny.
The crowd pops for that. Roman tells them to shut their mouth. They boo him. He says, little Jay, shut your mouth. Tribal Chief is talking now. You think this is my first rodeo? You think I've run this business for almost a decade now? Roman stands. He puts the undisputed title on the table. He says, it don't mean nothing to me. It's done. Let's go. Jay says, I said it's tribal combat now. So Roman looks down at his ulafala. He takes it off and he drapes it over the title. Our symbol that this is for everything. Yep. It's for the tribal chief, head of the table, all that stuff. And the title, of course. Yep. It's like, God, dude, the title's kind of almost secondary compared to what this really means, which is awesome that they have built it to this. So he does all that. He walks around the table. Jay meets him there. Roman extends his hand. Jay takes it. They sort of bring in it's sort of like a hug, forehead touching thing, a moment. Somebody on Twitter also noted they sort of exhaled in the same breath, which was awesome. Yeah. So Roman turns to leave. Solo's looking at Roman like he's a chump, like almost like you're going to do what the elders want you to do. You're supposed to be the elder. You're the guy here.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the leader here. Yeah.
Right. So he turns over the table, goes, looks for the spike. Roman stops him. Jay then hits Solo with a super kick, and he goes tumbling out of the ring, and Roman just sort of stares at what had just happened. Mm-hmm. You know, the man's respecting tradition, but the question is, will Solo respect the tradition?
I don't know. I feel like Roman's probably going to tell Solo to respect tradition, stay out of it, but I don't know if Solo's going to be able to do it.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, this is his moment to strike if he wants to be tribal chief too.
If Solo ends up, I mean, I'll throw this out there. If Solo ends up costing Jay the match, but Roman is kind of offended by that because he's like, this is not the way it should have gone. Could you see this going to a rematch? Or would it go to, I don't know, just further discord between Roman and Solo? I feel like, you know, I don't know. I feel like they might want to milk a lot more out of this Jay Roman thing. They did 2 matches back in the day, back when 3 years ago when this thing sort of kicked off. Yeah. I think, didn't they? Did like an I Quit and then like a...
They did Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I think they did too. Yeah, and then Jimmy had one. Yeah. Let's talk about AEW Collision.
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
Is Collision like the most casual wrestling show on TV right now? Things just kind of happen.
I kind of dig that about it, to be honest with you. It definitely has a different feel than Dynamite.
It does. Like it just kind of lacks a sense of urgency for me. Or like nothing really hits, or few things really hit. Like even I know you said in the past, like for example, when Ricky's talking, and this isn't the first time it's happened, and CM Punk's is like, I'm wandering through the arena. Oh, I'm in the side of the arena, and I might as well talk. Yeah. Kind of seems like he's lost because you don't get the hit of his music.
Yeah.
So you're missing that energy that comes with hearing Cult of Personality. Oh, CM Punk's coming. Shit's picking up. It's like he just wanders through, and the crowd just kind of slowly realizes, oh, that's Punk. Boo. And so there's like a low, you know, like slowly evolving boo throughout the arena rather than da 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 da. Oh, shit's picking up now.
Maybe they're just filming the walkthrough. They're filming the dress rehearsal.
It just kind of has like a languid, kind of sleepy feel to it.
Well, there was that meeting that was reported on where they were like, okay, how can we differentiate ourselves from Dynamite? And they're like, I got an idea. Nobody gets entrance music.
Whoa, groundbreaking. Wow, this is like 1940s all over again.
Write that down. No, you know what, dude? There is something to be said for, or not something to be said for, but it does appear that much in the way that we've talked about is Collision going to be the more pro wrestling centric show, there is something, maybe they're trying to be kind of more old school with it, where, look, I've done, and one of the joys of doing the Monday streams that I do over at my Twitch channel is looking at how the old territories, did things. Yeah. And there'd be somebody, especially with the studio wrestling, there'd be somebody up there with an interviewer, talking about whatever's going on. And then you'll hear sort of the crowd start to murmur, and people, their opponent will just sort of wander into the shot.
Yeah.
And maybe, given who we're dealing with Collision, Punk, and FTR, who seem to be, I guess, maybe the brain trust of the whole thing. And then I guess Danielson too, maybe. Maybe they are going for something that feels more like, studio wrestling in a non-studio environment. Maybe that's the idea.
I guess the pre-show or the cold open promos, which are all about 1 or 2 sentences, I think lend to the like WCW Saturday Night type vibe. So yes, it definitely has the throwback vibe to the show. Maybe if it's a situation where Phil comes out already talking, it's like, I can't wait to get through this curtain to say what I have to say to you, Ricky. Instead, he just kind of walks at his normal pace, ambulates down to the ring.
Yeah.
No real sense of urgency, no pep in his step. And he just gets in there and then proceeds to talk to him. Like, if he comes through the curtain, Ricky, stop. I don't mean to rain on your parade, but...
Yeah, I know. But I don't know that and trust me, I take your point. It's not something that bothers me because it does feel different than Dynamite. And there is something, and here's the thing, I don't know that philosophy that they seem to be adhering to on Collision, or at least offering up at the offset, we're only a month into it. I don't know if this philosophy is sustainable. That being said, I kind of liked it. I liked the opening promo stuff. I'm glad that they did 20 minutes of promo to open the show, because every once in a while I kind of feel like you need that. And I thought that the spotlight on Ricky Starks was really refreshing. He's back to what he really should be at this point. So yeah, I don't know. I definitely take your point, because I agree that exists. But I think from a character standpoint, to get, to the details, Punk wasn't there in an urgent matter. It was, I'm strolling down here to tell you that I'm cool with what you did. Not necessarily, I'm coming down here with a head full of steam to say, F you, dude. It's like, hey, I know what you're up to, so don't get too cute with it.
No, I understand that. I think from an energy level.
In terms of jazzing up the crowd and jazzing up the presentation,
this is just opening your show like this. I feel like this is your instance where if people are flipping to the channels, or people are, hey, I'm not at karaoke bowling or out drinking on a Saturday night. I'll check out Collision live.
Yeah, and you see Ricky talking, and then suddenly the crowd starts making a little bit of noise, and then CM Punk's there, like, where's Cult of Personality at? That's like the first thing I'd ask myself, like, why didn't he hit his song? Where's that hit? Well, the question is going to be, because I feel like maybe, and because he's done this before, he did it last time when he came out, so I guess Cult of Personality for the thing.
His wrestling entrance,
Maybe they're just trying to make, it's like Fetch, they're trying to make it into a thing. They're like, oh, we're going to take a different approach to this. If I got something to say, it doesn't need all the rigmarole of my presentation. It's a new way of doing things. So I don't know, it'll hit with you or it won't. I was cool with it. I was like, okay, I see him back there, trucking over, and then the camera catches him, and it's like, oh, but yeah, maybe I don't know how wise it's going to be long term, because we all know when you hear LA Knight, oh, the crowd just goes up,
energy,
And so there is a more, obviously, ironically, on a show called Collision, there's a more casual atmosphere.
Yeah, I know. It is a very casual type vibe, and
right,
and it's not that I completely dislike it. It's just, especially when you're opening your show, and I appreciated like the $1 million worth of pyro that Ricky Starks got. That
was cool. Yeah, you know what bothers me a little bit more is. There's a little bit too much, and this is I don't know, maybe it's just me and I'm reading too much into stuff. But there's a little too much sort of like, I don't know. God, what's the word for it? I'll give you the example that I'm referring to here. When Darby came down and he goes, he says, my good friend CM Punk, and he puts his arm around him. And I get that they're playing off of, okay, a lot of the AEW crowd still has an issue with CM Punk over the brawl out stuff. That's all I can surmise from the boos that he still gets. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what we're talking about here when they're totally. Yeah. And so the whole like, oh, yeah, we know people still don't like him because they saw him burn it down with the Elite. And so we're going to sort of crack wise about that or make light about that. Or we're going to, a wink and a nudge, like CM Punk doing the Bam Bam reference and a wink and a nudge. Hey, you guys don't like me, but I'm still here type of thing. That kind of aspect to it, I don't know. It's just sort of like too inside for me. It's like too inside baseball.
All right.
That sort of gets on my nerves. But beyond that, I don't know. I thought Dax's promo was pretty funny because talk about misreading a room. Talk about misreading your audience.
Yeah, I know.
I know it seems like I pile on Dax and I probably shouldn't. But like I did think that it was particularly funny that he really didn't understand that MJF and Cole are way more popular than them.
I know.
And he really thinks that, because they're here to see Collision. The brand split is not yet what they think it is. You know what I mean? Like they're going to get people are going to be solidly behind MJF and Cole in this match.
Absolutely. Because I thought like Cash's tact was like, hey,
it was
careful.
Good.
Yeah, that was good. That was actually good substantive stuff where Adam Cole, be careful. Mm-hmm. We've been in a faction with MJF. We know who he is.
Right. Yeah.
And then rather than following up on that, Dax tells a story about getting a job when he was 15 and wanting to beat up some kids that came in and made fun of him because he had to get a job and never got the opportunity. So he's going to take out those aggressions on MJF and Adam Cole.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It did not hit. It was not, he did not read the room.
Yeah.
Like if he had followed up on what Cash was saying and told like a very particular story about something he had witnessed MJF do and during the Pinnacle or something like that. Okay. That's following on the story that Cash set up. Instead, he veers off in a completely different direction. And he loses the crowd entirely.
He's complaining about one of the most popular segments we've seen lately, the whole dance-off thing. It's like if you like it or you didn't like it, if you thought it was crap or not, that crowd was eating it alive. They want more of that. They started chanting double clothesline at him. Mm-hmm. That's how popular they were. You're absolutely right. Cash knew what he was doing. Dax was out there, and it's like, you need to... You need to read that room, man. They are popular.
I know. And like the story about the kids coming in making fun of him didn't necessarily even relate to MJF, and especially Adam Cole.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it didn't really relate.
No, it did. It really.
He tried to. It's like, well, they're not taking our match or these titles seriously because they're dancing and having jokey segments and stuff.
Yeah,
and therefore they're entitled. I'm like, no, that's not how I'm reading this. They're just doing entertaining segments.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. Now, this is a good point here in Twitch chat as well. Also, I'm calling him by the wrong name. I'm supposed to call him FTR Bald. Apologies.
Sorry. Yes. That. Apologies. FTR Bald. Apologies.
That's messed up. You know what? I need to be nicer. Anyways. And then apparently Billy Gunn might have retired. I thought in a really emotional scene here, he took the loss for the Acclaimed in their match against House of Black. And afterwards, seemingly in an incredibly emotional scene. Looked like he was on the verge of tears.
Well, he was like his hands were shaking. He was trying to untie his boots.
Right, yeah. Which was a phenomenal. I don't know if it was real. I don't know if it's not. I don't know. I don't think there's been any reporting into it. I hope this is going to be a pretty good story they're telling. But yeah, no. Billy Gunn took off his boots and put him in the middle of the ring and had nothing to say to Max or Bowens, and walked back. So I thought it was a really good little moment there.
Yeah, I know. Whether this is actually like a genuine thing or just something for storyline, we've been complaining for a long time, and this isn't necessarily make up for get the tag titles off the Acclaim.
Yeah,
but on Collision, we didn't see QTV once.
Yeah,
during this Acclaim segment, and there's actually a story. They started a story of the dynamic between the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn, and now if he is retiring, whether that's kayfabe or not, how that's going to potentially change the chemistry between the three of them.
Yeah.
And that should hopefully lead to some interesting segments and keep them on TV every week. If they're not going to be in the title picture, whether it's the trios titles or the tag titles, they got to be on TV every week in a story that's interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, they're
And
terrific.
hopefully that's what this is. Hopefully.
So speaking of the Acclaimed, we had an Acclaimed, an Andrade, and Darius. Sorry,
Martin.
What's his Action Andrade?
Yeah,
in case anybody thought I meant Andrade.
And Darius Martin. Yeah,
and Darius Martin, because they're a tag team. And then Bullet Club Gold, they all had the pre-show promo. Have you warmed up at all to the pre-show promos, Larson?
I just don't really feel like they added anything.
It gets me jazzed, man, because Saturday night's all right for fighting.
Just if you want a cold open, have a shot at the arena, hit Ricky Stark's theme.
Yeah.
And then all that pyro, that'll get me hyped.
Nah, man. I want all they need is a punctuation that says live from, where were they this week?
Jersey.
Live from New Jersey. It's Collision.
They did say that. They did say where they were from.
Yeah, I know, but the more like live from Saturday night or live from New York Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's
at the end of these cold open promos, someone turned towards the camera. Ricky gets out of that car and says, "Tonight we're celebrating epic style.
They
live from Newark, New Jersey. It's AEW Collision." That's what you want. All right.
Yeah.
Anybody have to have introduce the cast members? Here's Mikey Day.
Yeah, we need Don. I know he's passed, but Don Pardo. We need some sort of Don Pardo impersonation.
Yeah.
Because now they got, I think, what's his face? The guy who used to do Clinton on Saturday Night Live. Daryl Hammond.
Daryl Hammond?
Yeah, for a while he took over for Don Pardo. I think for a while he was actually doing Don Pardo's voice. Like he was.
Oh.
And then they let him do his own thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
After Don Pardo died. Anyways, so.
Whenever I watch Saturday Night Live these days, it's just kind of on the background unless like there's something interesting.
Dude, I haven't watched it in a long time. Every once in a while, like on Saturdays, if I'm on like Twitter, if I'm on X. Hey, Larson, did you see what so-and-so said on X? Man, how long do you think it's going to take for us to finally call it X and not Twitter?
I'm never calling it that.
I'd like to say that, but sometimes as guys, I just go along with it eventually.
There's a better chance that I stop using that app entirely before I start calling it that. Because I came very close this weekend. I'm gonna be honest with you.
What was the breaking point with the X?
It was a variety of
no, you told me before we went online. Yeah, you were getting pushed a lot of stuff you didn't like. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I came very close to be like, all right, that's that this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know. Jokingly, I'm going to refer to it as that. But yeah, no, it's terrible. Oh, did you see what so and so said on X? What? What is that?
They're in this weird in between thing too, because I was trying to find some like a tweet from somebody for the show on my computer here.
Yeah.
And so like on their splash thing, you have this giant X logo, but it still says sign into Twitter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, Maggie's got it. It says ecstasy is a hell of a drug. Like it, that's what it sounds when you say, oh, did you see what Hulk Hogan said on X?
Oh, yeah.
He was on
like
X.
Everybody.
That's what. No, that's the vernacular. That's how you say things.
Yeah.
Man, I was reading this thing on X. Really? Did it have some sort of different context because you were high on ecstasy?
What are you talking about? No, I'm on the app.
Were you touching people's faces? Isn't that what you do? I don't know. I've never been on ecstasy.
What was that movie? Was it Get Him to the Greek, where Puffy is on something and there's a wall that has like the shag carpet on there, and he's
either
wall.
ecstasy or Molly. One of the two. I think gets you touching things.
Yeah. That fuzzy wall scene, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Collision. Those. I guess we can jump into it. What the shit just happened there? Anyway, so Ricky arrives at the arena and says, "Tonight we're celebrating an absolute style live from New Jersey. It's AEW Collision Saturday." So he leaves his car. It's a really nice car. He's got his Owen tournament title, and he's got a bag with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he comes out for his entrance, title, bag.
Yeah.
So he gets, as mentioned, $1 million worth of pyro. Comes to the ring. Shivani asked him about cheating to win last week.
They should have given him the fake pyro they did for the Saudi shows. Remember, like cars are driving, the pyro's just on the cars.
Dude. So last night we were watching. We just started watching The Bear. That FX show.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We watched the second episode. There's a scene where the main character just kind of like zones out, and so he's cooking stuff, and everything's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm I'm not trying to disrespect the show here, but it was the absolute worst CG fire I've ever seen anything.
Yeah.
I literally kind of guffawed.
Oh my God, dude. I watched, go ahead.
And I asked my wife, did it really look like that? She goes, yeah.
That's horrible. I watched Quantum Mania this weekend because I'm trying to catch up on Marvel stuff because there's some stuff up that looks kind of interesting. And I feel so bad for these actors because I think besides like 5 minutes at the beginning, 5 minutes at the end, the entire thing is green screened. It's ugly. It is like some of this. I'm like, oh, there, boy. I feel so bad for these actors having to be there for like 8 months or whatever it is.
I know.
Filming this shit all against
on green screen. I know.
It was like the second half of the movie was all right, but man, it was not a pretty looking movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, so crowd gets a bunch of Ricky chants. Schiavone asks, he's like, hey dude, what's up with you holding the rope to get that win over Punk? And then crowd starts chanting, you deserve it. And Ricky says, I've never agreed more with the city before tonight, but before I address what you're asking of me, I know everybody's wondering what's in the bag. Well, I'm glad you asked. Nothing's in the bag. I just wanted to show off my Louis after winning the Owen. God damn, I'm the man. I know everyone's talking about the controversy, but here's a question. What does it matter? 20 years from now, they're going to ask me how many, not how did I do it. And given the chance, if everyone else was in my shoes, they would have done the same thing. The way I see it, I went in there and got the job done the only way I know how, and that's by any means necessary. Don't talk to me about what's right and wrong. Talk to me about how stylish I am, about how sexy I am, about how I'm the man.
The crowd was totally into this. The crowd was firmly behind Ricky.
Firmly behind Ricky here, yeah. And then Schiavone asks about disrespecting Jushin Thunder Liger. And Ricky says, no disrespect to Liger. He's a legend. I'm absolute Ricky Starks. And here's what I want to talk about. He just completely pivots.
Yeah.
He says, everybody wants to give me comparisons. No. I am me. I am absolute. And I love my fans that say, hey, Ricky, you should be a pillar. It's a great sentiment, but no. I don't want to be no damn pillar. I stand on my own. I'm absolute Ricky Starks. And you tell me how many Owens those 4 pillars have won. And then, like, you hear people start booing, and then you see a guy trudging down the walkway there.
Dude, I'll never forget that first time CM Punk ran out with FTR in Collision. And no reaction from the crowd because they're like, who is this running down? We don't know who this is.
Is that a security guard? Is that Rhett Titus? What's going on there? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You need that hit sometimes. Give me that hit.
If it's a save, if it's a save, you need the hit. That's completely stupid why they wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But if you want to get across the idea that Punk is coming out here and it's like not scheduled, maybe that's the idea. Then. But he's backstage. We know he's backstage because everybody in the crowd knows he like runs creative or whatever he does.
At least that's something unusual. That's a hit. Coming through the crowd.
Coming through the crowd's a hit. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's a murmur. That's a murmur like, oh shit, Punk's right here.
Man.
That's just like, oh.
Did he get a ticket?
That's what I'm saying.
Should he have popcorn?
Absolutely.
Big bucket of it, like the biggest. Like he knows he's not going to finish it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I always get at the movie theaters. I always get the biggest one. I know I'm not going to finish this thing.
But if you do, you always go back and get a refill on it. The larger one, you get refills.
When my dad, when we used to go, he would polish that shit off quick.
Yeah.
Okay, Stevie, go get a refill. I'm like, I'm the one who cares about the movie. You're clearly not even paying attention. You go get the refill. Anyways, so Punk comes to the ring. He says, I'm not out here to rain on your parade. This is your celebration, even though clearly it's what he's doing. Yeah. He says, I figured you and everybody here in New Jersey figured I'd come out here screaming mad, but I'm not mad at all. If I'm mad at anybody, it's myself. And I look at you right, and I'm honestly kind of proud of you, Ricky. I cannot stand here, an honest man, and say that I've never cheated anything in my life, and I certainly can't stand here in New Jersey and pretend that they haven't cheated anything in their life. It's okay. Maybe if the Devils had the wherewithal that Ricky had, they would have made it out of the first round. Ooh, running down the home team.
Heel. Punk heel confirmed.
He says, but seriously, I'm not mad at you. I can live with that L, but think about this. Can you live with the win knowing how you did it, knowing deep down that you can't beat CM Punk without cheating? And then Punk leaves, and Ricky's stewing, and he's like, whoa, Punk, you know my bag is as empty as that little red bag you've been carrying around, dog. And Punk stops, turns around, walks back, gets right in Ricky's face and says, you want a shot at what's in the bag, Ricky? Or are you like little Max and don't want me to have it? I am the real world's champion. I hope to God, if he pulls that title out, they pixelate that thing. Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be pretty great. I know. So then he's interrupted by Christian Luchasaurus. So Christian says, we're contractually obligated as TNT champ to appear in front of the live audience here tonight, but this is taking too long for my liking. I don't want to spend any more time in New Jersey than I have to. And they start booing, of course. And he goes, oh, you're called Dirty Jersey for a reason, sweat hogs. So shut your mouths while I conduct business. Before I go on, Punk, I got a question for you. What kind of man carries around a championship he didn't win?
Which was brilliant because I don't even mention it. He's the one carrying.
He's got the
TNT
title.
Yeah, that's great.
He says, I think I know the answer. It's fine. You keep doing what you're doing. Before I hit the bricks, I want to let you know that we are the faces of TNT forever. So then Darby just walks by Christian, grabs the mic out of his hand, and goes to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And says, Ricky, I know you hate the term pillars. I hate it too. But there just aren't 4 pillars. Anyone who's a ride or die with this company is a pillar in my eyes, like my good friend CM Punk.
Yeah.
And you two, talking to Christian Luchasaurus, who's the champ? It doesn't even matter because it all out. Become the new face of TNT. I'm going to put some respect on that title's name. Luchasaurus, when I look at you, I see someone who took too many psychedelics and thinks they're a dinosaur now. I didn't come to Collision to talk, so don't we have a tag match? Me, CM Punk versus Ricky and Christian. You don't wrestle anymore, so give me the TNT champ. Talk about Luchasaurus. Oh, you're the champ?
Well, Christian starts yelling at him away from the microphone. He's like, oh, what are you talking about? I am the champ.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, that's kind of heavy.
Yeah, I know. So then Shivani said, I guess Tony Khan talked in his earpiece and said the match is official. Starks and Luchasaurus or Christian against Darby and Punk.
Yeah. I liked Darby sort of coming out of character. He's some of that old school's rubbing off on him. He's going to be dropping some let me tell you somethings here. I kind of like that. Anyways, backstage, Andrade's just trying to get in the arena.
Yeah.
And security, including Rhett Titus, former Ring of Honor TV champion.
Yeah.
What do you think that's about? I mean, I understand. Hey, man, can you get me on TV?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways.
I mean, they do Ring of Honor tapings either before or after Collision, so maybe they brought him in for the taping in case they needed him, and he's like, okay, we don't need you, but we'll get you on the show.
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe just put him in a producer's outfit or something. Like he's a known person.
I know.
Anyways, so backstage, Andrade's like, dude, I'm just trying to get in here. He's like, House of Black stole my mascaras. That's why I'm here. And then security's like, no, you gotta go. You gotta be here. You gotta go. You gotta get out of here. He's like, what the heck, man?
He's got a match against Buddy, a ladder match against Buddy next week. That instead of like a briefcase or something, gets the mask suspended above the ring.
Oh, that's what it is. That's cool.
Yeah.
After that, we had Darius Martin and Action Andretti versus the Bullet Club Gold. Club Gold, Bang Bang Gang. Part of their promo also, in case anybody's curious or interested, is that the Guns have they got their own Bullet Club Gold shirts.
Remember we said with Jay White and Impact, he was there to sell Bullet Club merch?
Yeah, he's still doing that. Yeah, he's still
doing that. He directly said go to AEW or shop AEW, whatever the thing is.
Do we know if the Bullet Club Gold shirts are like gold? Are they reflective ink?
Like gold foil?
Like gold foil, right, yeah.
I know they had a version that was.
Okay, all right.
I think the standard is just gold ink on shirt, but I think there was a foil version.
Gold digital ink. That's just going to look like a muddy yellow.
Yeah, no. Like someone spilled mustard in had a Bullet Club stencil and used mustard.
Hey, that'd be ours in Bullet Club mustard right there.
There we go, yeah.
Oh, man, the hot dog.
Anyways,
gang.
Bullet Club gets the win here. Jay hits Action Andretti with Blade Runner after Juice. Action Andretti took like 5 moves that probably should have beat him all in a row.
Right, yeah.
So Bullet Club Gold gets the win afterwards. The Guns hit the ring and attack Action Andretti and Darius Martin. So I'm guessing we're going to see that match soon. We get a Willow Nightingale recap. First to her winning the Owen Cup and then losing to Athena at ROH Death Before Dishonor. What I hear is a spectacular match. I need to check this out.
It's okay. So this is a stupid question. Do you get that pay-per-view if you just sign up for Ring of Honor? Or is it like a separate pay-per-view?
I think it's a separate pay-per-view.
I might have to buy that just for that match because I've heard amazing things.
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, I want to see that. So then we had Miro Ebadi versus Nick Camarado. Camarado attacked Miro from behind during the entrance, ran him into the ring steps. Put him back in the ring, hits his finish. Miro kicks out at 1, buries the shit out of it. Eventually, Nick Camarado, did he tap out here to the game over, or did he pass out? I think he tapped out, didn't he?
Tapped, yeah.
He doesn't get a pass out win here.
No.
Yeah. Miro.
No, Miro kicked out of his wife. Assumes his finisher at 1. Of course, he doesn't get a pass out finish.
Oh yeah, did we like correctly note that was Camarado's finishing move?
I just assumed because it looked like it would
I don't know if I've ever seen that dude hit a finishing.
I don't think I've
move.
ever seen him win a match.
Oh man. After that we had an FTR video package in advance of their blistering promo later. And then we had House of Black versus the Acclaim. This was great because Caster was talking, he was rapping, talking shit about Buddy, about like making intonations about Rhea and Dom. And before he can get his punchline, Buddy just ran out. My favorite thing is when Max gets attacked during midline because he always says, "Oh God."
Oh, yeah, I thought he said, "Oh shit."
Yeah, I think that's what he said. Yeah. Oh shit.
He eats a huge running knee. So this match begins with utter mayhem. Everybody's brawling around the ring. For a while, Caster's isolated by House of Black. In the end, but Caster eventually gets the hot tag to Billy. He goes on a bit of a run, but eventually gets dropped by a huge clothesline from Brody King.
Yeah.
And then Malachi follows as soon as Billy gets up with the black mask to get the win. So I don't know if this is, again, it goes into the idea of whether this is a shoot or just a storyline thing. As soon as the match is over, Malachi goes over to Billy and starts whispering something to him and kind of gives him like a half hug, puts his arm around his shoulder and kind of gives him a bit of hug. And then Buddy pats him on the shoulder as House of Black leaves, which is very much out of character for House of Black.
For sure, yeah.
So then Billy sits in the corner, both Bowens and Caster outside the ring at this point. So Billy's there unlacing his boots.
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd's chanting, "You still got it." And so Bowens is like, "Billy, what are you doing?" Trying to get his attention. But Billy's just like, he's focused on getting those boots off and his hands are shaking. He seems very emotional. So eventually he gets both the boots off. He stands up, leaves the boots in the middle of the ring, gets out of the ring, and Bowens and Caster walk up to him like, what's going on? And he just walks right past him.
Yeah.
So then Bowens rolls in the ring, grabs Billy's boots. And he and Caster go up the ramp too. So
good stuff.
Is it going to be a situation where Billy's like, "You guys, Bowens and Caster, be doing so much more. I'm the one that's leading us to not be a winning team."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then Bowens and Caster's trying to convince him, "No, that's not the case at all.
Yeah,
we still want to get this trio's title reign for you."
Yeah, that could be. Maybe he'll be like, "Look, guys, this act has really rejuvenated my career, but there's one thing that I still need to do, and that's be the ass man. I'm an ass man. Damn it. I want to love him." And then he's like, "Yeah, man, The Rock killed me in a promo and completely buried the ass man character. I think that has legs now. And what do legs lead up to? The ass.
Ass, yeah.
I'm an ass man now. So thanks. Yeah. But I'm going to go on my own now and be the ass man."
He just walks away and they say, "You are the ass man."
Hey, Billy, you are the ass man.
You are the ass man.
He gets the license plate.
The license plate, exactly.
Next collision, he rolls up and the license plate says ass man.
You are the ass man. Anyways, we had the Royal Rampage recap. So Darby won that. He gets the TNT title shot. He eliminated Swerve.
He's going to beat Luchasaurus too. That's going to happen.
Yeah, I know. And then Swerve powerbomb Darby on his skateboard on the wheels.
Oh, yeah, that was rough.
But they have a match on Dynamite that, damn it, Swerve better win that match.
Yeah, he's not going to win that match because Darby's in line for
TNT title. Well, because what they could do is a triple threat then for the TNT title at All Out with Swerve, Darby, and either Luchasaurus or Christian.
I mean, maybe Luchasaurus or Christian can interfere in that match and Swerve can win it. That would make sense. More heat.
That would be interesting if they did Swerve and Darby versus Christian and Luchasaurus for the TNT title.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be interesting. Regardless of who's in the match, the TNT title is going to change hands at that pay-per-view.
Yeah,
that's going to happen.
Yeah.
After that, we had this FTR interview. Cash is like, "Hey, Adam Cole, do you trust MJF?" He says, "Because I don't. I got firsthand experience." Anybody remember the Pinnacle? Anybody you guys had Pinnacle shirts? Lasted about 2 weeks. He says, "I saw day in, day out the type of person Max really is. A wise man once said, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was to making you think he doesn't exist, and he's doing it again." He says, "But I'm telling you right here, right now, Adam, when this man tells you exactly what he is, listen to him. Do not trust him. DTA. Next week, you are not going to beat FTR, baby.
So then Dax gets on the mic.
Oh, here we go. So who wants story time with Dax Harwood, baby?
Oh, gosh. So he says, when I was 14 or 15 years old, my daddy made me get a job. And every single day after school, the same group of kids came in. And they were a little overprivileged.
You know this was going to... When you start going back to when you were a teenager, you know this is going to be a long promo. You're taking the scenic route here.
I know. And he says, their parents gave them money every day, and they came in and made fun of me because I had to get a job. I promised myself that day that if I ever saw those kids, if I had the opportunity, I'd take this right fist and I'd crack them in the nose. I never got that opportunity, but that scenario reminds me of what we're going through right now.
You know, he probably could get on Facebook. Look, I'm going to be interrupting you left and right on this because it's hilarious. Fine. He could get on Facebook and find them. They should tell that story.
If they were kids that went to his school, wouldn't he see those kids in theory at school every day?
Yeah, you'd think that he would continue like up until he's like, you know, a man's age. He would see them all the time unless they moved or something.
I don't know. So anyways, he says, to me, it feels like MJF and Adam Cole, they think the tag titles are a joke. For me, it's the comedy skits. It's the dance break. For me, for 10 long years, I've done everything I could just for an opportunity to make
clothesline.
Yeah, I know.
Then he had
make
to deal with
FTR the greatest tag team in pro wrestling. So next week in Hartford, there won't be any dance breaks. Boo!
Boo! I want more dance breaks, dummy.
I know. There won't be any more comedy. Boo! We want to be entertained.
Boo! They're hilarious.
Because I'm gonna take out on you what I should have done to those kids when I was 15. We're gonna give MJF and Adams something the real world never threatened with, and that's an ass kicking.
Where do you think he worked when he was 15?
He mentioned, I didn't catch the name though. He mentioned some place.
Did he? Was it like a general store or something? Something like, because he always talks like he was like, you know, grew up in the 50s.
Well, I mean, maybe that's like what he hoped had happened.
I worked at the Five and Dime.
Yeah, I know. I worked at the Woolsworth.
I worked at the general store in the Thoroughfare.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you didn't, man. What, Blockbuster? Is that where you worked? Hollywood Video?
Yeah.
Is that where you worked?
I know. The warehouse. And not in a warehouse. Talk about the record store. The warehouse.
Yeah. Did you work at Suncoast Music or Suncoast Video rather? Did you work at Cinnabon? You worked at what was the place? Oh man, dude, I think it's still around. It was like Hot Dog on a Stick or something. You have like
Hot Dog on a Stick. Yeah,
and like the outfits are like stripes.
Yeah, you kind of look like a clown in those outfits, don't you? Yeah.
Hey, yeah, that's why he didn't want to do that.
Coming full circle, yeah. The revival stuff, yeah.
I was working at Blockbuster, and they used to come in. They used to rent all the PS2 games, and I couldn't afford a PS2. I had a Super Nintendo.
Whenever you went to a place and one of the people you knew from school was working, did you ever make fun of them?
Look, man, like even if I wasn't an asshole, but like
I wasn't either. But like,
no. I don't think it was ever a thing. Even for like, I mean, I don't know. Like there weren't even like a lot of rich kids at the school, but I don't think it was like a thing to make fun of people if they had a job.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're making their own money.
Yeah. He's acting like he was in like a friggin' like, you know, he worked in it was like a small town. John Lithgow was like the mayor or something. I mean, I'm just talking about Footloose right now.
You're talking about Footloose, yeah. Maybe where he worked was a place where they had dances, and so business was light, you know.
And these rich kids really knew how to dance, and I didn't. That's why he hates the dance break.
That could be. There we go.
There we go. We figured it out.
Maybe Dax's dad was John Lithgow's character in Footloose.
Oh, no. My dad didn't like the dancing.
And so he thought it was the devil's work. And so the kids that just wanted to dance came to the store and made fun of him.
Mm-hmm. That could be. Yeah, that could be.
Trying to put this all together.
No, it doesn't make any sense, man. I don't know.
No, it completely lost the crowd.
Like I worked at like the nerdiest place. I worked at Sears in like the engraving area. Yep. And I made keys. Nobody ever walked by and like made fun of me for that. No. You know, I had some friends coming over and hanging out with me because it was boring. At one point, they were like doing a bunch of construction, and I was literally just buried.
I remember that. I came to visit you at work one time.
I think you did. Yeah.
It's like, how do I get here? There's construction everywhere.
Didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways. Then we had a recap of Blood and Guts. And then we had Sky Blue versus Taya. They gave this match a lot of time right here. This was not like the thrown together Britt Baker match. They gave this a ton of time. I thought Sky Blue had a good shot here because of how far she went in the Owen. But no, Taya got the win here with a stomp and a lariat. And then she got on the mic, says, "Oh, man, New Jersey, you're worse than I thought. I know things really haven't been going my way lately, but tonight against one of your homegrown sweethearts, I got the victory. And guess who else had a victory? Britt Baker. But Britt, it was against an extra, someone not on our level, so it's not that special. So how about this? This Wednesday, for the first time," she called them an extra.
I know. Kayla Sparks. Referring to Kayla Sparks as an extra.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's what they refer to them backstage as an extra, which is kind of messed up. But yeah, that's kind of funny. She says, so somebody not on our level, so it's not that special. Like, call them a rookie or a noob or like a, you know. Anyway, so she says, how about this? This Wednesday, for the first time ever, La Huera Loca versus DMD. Come play with me, Britt. Watch me.
Mm-hmm. And then we had our main event. It was Christian, TNT champion Christian, and Ricky Starks teaming up against Darby Allin and CM Punk. They gave this match like a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a perfectly fine match. Could have got through this match in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. This match was really like kind of unnecessarily long.
Yeah. And about halfway through the match, they show that Scorpio Sky is up in a luxury box watching the match.
Yeah.
So hopefully Scorpio Sky gets involved in whether it's the TNT title scene or something.
That'd be cool.
Again, fun enough match, but it was really, really dang long. So eventually Starks is looking for a stalling suplex on Darby, but Darby reverses that into a Scorpion death drop off the top. Covers. Christian breaks up the pin. Punk looks for a GTS on Christian. Christian escapes that, throws Punk to the floor. He follows, and that's where Punk hits Christian with a GTS, is on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Darby's setting up for a coffin drop. Luchasaurus, though, trips him up. Starks is looking for a Rochambeau, but Darby versus that into a roll-up. Starks kicks out of the rope to one of his own, grabs onto that second rope again.
Yep.
Get the win.
Yep. They got to learn, man. You're dealing with a guy who knows where that second rope is.
Yep. Exactly.
All right, man. Do you have your celebrity impersonator today for the Raw preview?
I'm being honest, man. I completely forgot about it.
All right. Well, I got Ed Manning on the line. We'll do that here in just a
do
bit.
It. We don't need a celebrity impersonator. We can just do that ourselves. I don't know why we insist on having to do a celebrity impersonator unless it's just to irritate me.
Because, Larson, if I'm nothing, I'm a man of the people, and the people want to hear
You're
the
not a man of this
celebrity
person right now. I'll be honest with you.
Well, people in general, other people, not you people.
Not me.
Your
Yeah,
person. Other
You'll
people.
do whatever necessary to irritate me.
But you know what? I've gone over the new contract with him, the new language and the new contract. So I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by what he.
Can there be less horny, please?
And that's what I have instructed him to be, less overtly horny. Yes, more innuendo than anything. Carlos here says, "What wrestling songs would you like to see performed in a William Shatner / Rocket Man dramatic way?" What an awesome question. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good.
Degenerate
into something, fool. Just get tired of doing what you told me to do. That's good.
That's the breaks, boy. That's the breaks, little man.
Yeah. DJ Mott says, is LA Knight's eventual title reign going to be the best storyline payoff we've had this year? Or do you think we'll be disappointed? No, I think it's going to be amazing and explosive and euphoric. Yes.
I hope so. I mean, I'm not expecting this to lead directly to like a huge title win. As you mentioned earlier on, if he's involved consistently in stories that give him TV time and opportunities for his character, I'd say character development, he's just LA Knight.
He doesn't need character development.
That's this character is no development.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
To showcase what he does best, then he'll be fine.
You know, it would be amazing.
Huh.
If they gave LA Knight a 2-hour documentary.
That'd be fantastic.
Like, what is his character's backstory? Like, I don't want to know what, like, you know, what is his, Sean Richter, whatever his real name is.
Yeah.
I don't want to know his backstory. I don't want to be like, oh, yeah, I was doing a bunch of commercials and acting and stuff.
Don't care about that.
I want to know, like, what is LA Knight's actual backstory? Like, what did he have parents? Did he just appear one day? Where did he get that name from?
Exactly.
Like, I have so many questions.
Me too, but I don't want it to be like actually telling his story. I want it to be more or less entirely in kayfabe.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Because that would be the more interesting tack to take, I think.
Right. Like, is he a forever person? Like, has he been around since like the 1800s or 1700s?
Is he, like, as makes it sound like he's a vampire then?
Was he created in a lab but like an old-timey lab.
Yeah.
I don't know.
CatDead7 says, what do you see happening first? Roman getting angry and pie-facing Solo and instantly regretting it, or Solo spiking Roman? Ooh, what if Solo gets involved in the match and Roman is so mad, pie-face? Ooh. At SummerSlam.
The moment Solo spikes Roman, I mean, is that how they're going to turn Roman face? Solo spikes him?
Then Cody's not going to beat him then.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know about any of it. Bucket says, personally, I think Ricky Starks is so much better as a heel than a face.
Oh, yeah.
Who are some other AEW WWE people you think are most suited as a heel but are currently faces? Right now, LA Knight. You know, if they did have him change, say, don't call them dummies, that's bad news right there. Bad
move.
Yeah.
Someone who's better as a heel.
That is currently a face. That's currently a good guy.
Like the Elite. They're more fun as heels.
They are a lot more fun as bad guys, yeah. That's a good point.
I feel like most wrestlers are generally more fun as heels. Mm-hmm. Oh, Bear Winning says Charlotte. That's a good answer. Santos. Yeah.
Oh, Santos for sure. Yeah. Santos is as a good guy is almost as boring as Starks is a good guy. Roy says, do you think that since the addition of Collision, there's been a new form of tribalism forming between Dynamite and Collision fans? I haven't really noticed that. I've just seen people on X. I've seen people in social media, on Twitter, etc., sort of like delineating themselves maybe a little bit between like, hey, I just prefer this show, as opposed to fuck the other show, I like this one.
Yeah,
that's what I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that either.
Yeah, but then like you said, who knows how much longer I'm going to be on X.
Justin Sider. LA Knight has been compared to The Rock and Stone Cold, both team with Mick Foley in odd couple tag teams. Who could LA Knight tag with in a successful odd couple team? What a good question.
Well, he did it once with Boogs, which, by the way, where has he been? Because he's awesome. And so I feel like he's done with odd couple tag teams. He's not fit for that shit.
All right. Just flat out refusing. No odd couple tag teams.
Well, that's me. Yeah. What about you?
LA Knight is John Fear and Loathing has it. It's Otis. Imagine if it was LA Knight and Otis.
Yeah, that would last like one day. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Narc says, do you think Asuka keeps her title after SummerSlam? No, I think Io is going to win. I think she's going to cash in and walk out of SummerSlam with it.
Organ Grinder says, Triple H gives you an ultimatum. He'll finally give LA Knight his push, but is beating Gunther at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title before Gunther breaks Honky Tonk Man's record. Mm-hmm. It's either that or no LA Knight push. Do you think they should do it?
Yeah. LA Knight beats Gunther? Yeah, I believe it.
All right.
I see it.
You can book that so Gunther doesn't look terrible in loss.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like Giovanni Vinci turns on him or something after finally getting fed up with Gunther lecturing him all the time about how much he's losing.
Oh, there you go. What would, in a similar fact, here's a question from Steve. So like Gunther chopped Matt Riddle's foot to help secure the victory. Uh-huh. What would he chop of LA Knights to help secure the victory?
His mouth?
That's what I was thinking too. Because that's like his strength. That's where his strength comes from. Mason says, what do you think Triple H thinks about the Acclaim storyline?
Who?
Triple H.
Of the Acclaim storyline?
Yeah. Here, I'll call him and find out.
No.
I'm going to call him. Hello, hi, this is Triple H. Hey, Game, this is Steve from Steve and Larson. Oh, it's Fat John Cena. Okay. So, you always wanted me to talk to him. I'm talking to him now. Do you have a question for me? Yeah, my question is this. What do you think of the Acclaim Billy Gunn storyline? I think that he should be dominating. Look at the size of that guy. He's huge. And, he should be beating them all. Everybody there in that pissant company. And then he should come back. He should come back here to WWE. And then, we'll make him the ass man again. Who would want to see that?
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Triple H. No sweat. That's what he thinks about it.
All right. Patrick Kennedy asks, what can we do as fans to help make LA Knight undeniable? Because he needs to go to the top. Yeah, not stuck in the middle. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Undeniable.
Oh, man. Isn't he already there? Give him a 2-hour documentary.
Yeah, 2-hour documentary, all in kayfabe about LA Knight.
Right. And then I just appeared out of the ether. Wow.
It was like a big bang, but also only for a person. Yeah.
You know whose big bang it is? LA Knight.
Someone managed to make charisma manifest in one particle, and imagine it was so dense.
Yeah. You know that movie Oppenheimer? Yeah. It's like a bomb of charisma.
With the power of individual charisma. That's how I was born. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, you ready for our Raw preview with Ed Manning?
Not at all, but I'm guessing it's going to happen regardless.
Ed Man. Here he is. Let's see what the Ed Man has to say here. It's all good. It'll be good.
Dear.
Hello, this is the Ed Man speaking. Ed Man walking. Ed Manning. What's up, everybody?
All right, Ed Man talking here, huh? Yeah. All right, Ed Manning.
You got that right. Here on the Going In Raw show.
Yes, correct. Let's get through this Raw preview, okay? We're kind of running long. We don't have to take long to do this. You know,
the podcast. I mean,
we might change the name of the show
not the sexual maneuver where you go in.
For the sake of Raw preview today, this is Wrestle Party, okay?
Coitus without a condom. Seth freaking Rollins and Finn Balor are going to sign a contract for SummerSlam title match. All right. You think it's going to devolve into fisticuffs?
Yeah, totally. It's going to be violence, yes.
Yes. Then do you think we're going to get the demon character?
No, not at all.
I love the demon character.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Why?
I find him awfully sexy.
All right, what's next?
Logan Paul to appear on Raw to confront Ricochet.
Ricochet, man.
How do you pronounce it?
Ricochet.
Oh, Ricochet.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it phonetically. That's how I read. It's confront Ricochet. Thought it was like a dude named Chet. Like it was
no.
like a tag team, Rico
no,
and
Chet.
Chet.
This isn't like weird science, no.
Hey, Chet. All right, next up, we got Becky Lynch fighting Zoe Stark to get to Trish Stratus. What's she going to do when she gets to Trish Stratus? Where is Trish Stratus?
I'm guessing this week, maybe at home. Maybe she'll be at Raw.
Oh, it's a person. I thought it was a location. It said Becky Lynch is going to fight Zoe Stark to get to Trish Stratus.
No, it's not a location. No,
I don't really know much about this fake fighting bullshit. It's dumb to me. I like pugilism. I like actual boxing.
You like
men
boxing,
being men.
All right, what's next?
Sweaty men facing off.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of sweaty men, Drew McIntyre stands face to face with Intercontinental Champion Gunther. What are they going to do? They're just going to stand there and look at each other?
I guess so.
And then is that all that happens there? You're supposed to be the expert.
That would literally be a face-to-face, yeah.
Yes. And are they going to kiss or what are they going to do?
I don't know.
Like that?
I'm not going to predict.
The last one. Tommaso Ciampa looks for retribution against Bronson Reed.
Yes.
Who are they?
Wrestlers.
Oh, all right. Are they fake fighting too? Is that what they're doing?
Well, it's choreographed fighting. It's choreographed. It's not fake.
Oh, okay. I bet it doesn't even hurt very much.
Well, I mean, if you go get slammed on that mat, you'd probably be hurting.
Oh, man. Only get slammed on a mat. Like a bed mat, Tris.
All right. Thanks, Ed Manning. We'll maybe see you another time. Hopefully not. Goodbye.
All right. Did I do good today? I need your validation.
Room for improvement.
Okay. I'll try better next time. Goodbye.
All right. So we're going to bring him back. Is that right?
No, absolutely not.
You said room for improvement. So that means that you're clarifying.
I was trying to let him down politely. It was a nightmare.
Oh, okay. It was a nightmare? Really?
Yeah.
Nah, I think it was great. Anyways, that is going to do it for the day today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Thanks so much to Ed Manning for calling in for the Raw preview, even though he really seems to know nothing about wrestling.
He doesn't bring anything.
Thanks to Triple H for, he brings in like a vague Undertaker impersonation, which is good for the show.
If he doesn't even know about wrestling, how does he know who the Undertaker even is?
Thanks also to Bret Hitman Horse for his pre-advertisement read. And then the other guy, Dick Slavitt, for doing his as well. Patreon.com/Stephen Larson. Click join if you're watching us on the YouTube. If you're listening to this in the audio realm, do us a solid. Leave us a rating, review, or a comment. It really helps grow the show. And if you're watching on the YouTube, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Check out our other channel, Friendo Club Wrestling. We got a new video up today where we're reacting to our predictions for this year.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun one.
That was a good one. It's doing well right now. Thanks for watching, everybody.